Hello and welcome or welcome back to Cyrene Subs. My name is Sarah and it is Sunday, October 26th, and I have not recorded anything all week. It's not really a surprise. I had intended on recording on Thursday. I had the day off, but I ended up doing other things, so no recording was done. But I'll still do a lot. I have a lot to show you today, so that'll be good. What can I remember about my week that is not crochet related, or not? Nothing really exciting happened this week except for yesterday. Friday I went to a play with my friend, and it was really exciting because we, know each other through another friend, and so I was pretty happy that she invited me to go see the show with her. It was a really good show. It's called The Butler Did It. It was at a high school about maybe close to an hour away. Great show. It wasn't the high school that put it on. It was just high school that hosted it. But anyway, they did a great job. It was a great show. It was funny. So if you have anything like that around you and they play The Butler Did It, go to the show. It is pretty good. It won't be the same people, but it's a good show. So, and then on Saturday morning, both of my friends had a little crafting get together at their church. So I had those two friends and another friend of mine who also crochets, and then some other people that they knew doing random crafts. So like I was crocheting. My one friend was crocheting some amigurumi, and then my other friend was crocheting a blanket. She finished her blanket, yay! And then like the lady across from me was doing some sort of paper crafting. Her daughter was doing some beading, and then she colored. And then my other friend, the other one that helped set it up, she was just doing random stuff. She's just not really that big of a crafter or whatever. But I'm getting everyone confused with everyone. The one that was crocheting the star blanket and the one that was doing the random crafts, they're the two that set it up. Okay. So the one that was doing random crafts, or the one that was doing the star blanket, she had gone to Hobby Lobby or Michael's or something beforehand and got some kits. And so the friend that was not doing anything, that was, random crafting, she was doing these pumpkin kits where it was like beads on pipe cleaners and made it into a pumpkin. And so that was great. And then I took a bunch of stuff there. I have like 3 bins. I took perler beads. I have a bin of perler beads. And then I have 2 like fabric bins of just random craft stuff that I, got for me and my daughter when she was younger. And and she kind of lost interest kind of thing. So I was like, let's get some of that used and all will be well. So they used some of that. And then the table behind me, someone was doing like a fabric wreath. They did a wreath and then they were like tying fabric around it. And the friend's mother-in-law was painting, and then some other people were doing other things. I don't remember what they were doing or who they were. So it was nice though, because it was a nice social event that was, we were doing stuff. So when you're an introvert, it's a way easier to be doing stuff and talking to people. That way, there's not like the bored, uncomfortable silences when you're just kind of sitting there like. Instead, if there's silences, you're focusing on your work. And then when people are talking around you, you can cut in and whatever, not cut in, but, like join the conversation and then go back to your work if you stop thinking of things to say and things like that. So I think that's a really good way for an introvert to be doing things. Personally, that's the way I like to do it. That's why I tend to make friends at work, because we're doing stuff and we don't have to be talking all the time. Whereas if you get into some social things, you're just like bars, you're just drinking and talking, have to talk really loud, and that's real drain on the social battery. And it's just not as easy to, especially if you don't know anybody. Whereas if you are doing something as as a group-ish, a like thing that all of you are doing, in some sort of relation to it, I think that's a way easier way to get social time in without having to be like needing to talk all the time. Like it's a way to, I don't know if I'm describing this correctly, but I really enjoyed the way that it worked out. It's easier for me to talk to people when I'm doing stuff, because then I have something else to draw my attention to rather than the awkward silences, and then it becomes a comfortable silence because we're both doing stuff. Anyway, enough rambling about that. So that was good. And then after that, my daughter and I went to the line, went swimming. And then she had her friend over, so I was sewing. And then this morning I got all those projects finished, which I'll show you in just a moment. So it's been a good week. Work was really good too. We got out on time every day. Again, I had Thursday off, so I don't know how that went for them, but it's kind of rare for us to get out on time every day. So that was good. All right, so we're gonna start with what I crocheted this week. I started off with this blue dragon, and he is a beautiful. I love the blue. The light blue was a little harder to, like, it looks a little rough. It doesn't feel rougher. It's softer, but it looks a little not as smooth. It's a little more sheddy looking, maybe. I don't know. So I'm glad I went with the dark blue as the base and then the light blue as the whatever color you want to call it. So, or whatever, I don't know, contrasting color, complementing color. I'm not an artist. I don't have those terms in my head. I just know that I like the dark blue and the white blue, or the light blue. I don't remember what day I finished this. I probably started on Sunday and then finished it maybe, I don't know, because did I work last weekend? I don't know what I did. Anyway, so that's the first thing I made. And then I made this owl, and this is a Ribbler pattern, and I did not realize how big it was going to be. And so I got to like the end of the head part, and I'm like, wow, this is like as big as my hand. It's going to be huge. And it was pretty big. It is this owl that is facing toward you, he's turned a little way. His head is turned away, or toward you, or wherever you, anyway, his head is not straight. So, but that's on purpose. That's the way that the pattern wanted you to go. So, and then the wings, I thought that they could be crocheted in. It said to sew them in. I thought that they could be crocheted in, but I'm glad I didn't try to do that, because if I would have crocheted them in, they would have been like this, and then they're too long to do that. They did say in the pattern that you may have to adjust the number of rounds you do based on tension here and whatnot to make sure that they fit your owl, but they do fit it if I do it at a diagonal or at an angle, which makes more sense, because that's really what the owl is going to look like. He's going to have his wings at an angle. He's not going to have his wings straight down. So it wouldn't have made sense for it to look like that anyway. And then I was like, what am I going to price this at? This is larger than what I normally have, and I like to keep my prices low. And then my daughter decided that it was Hedwig, and it's hers now. So sure, it's fine. I'm going to try to find some smaller owls. I did find one that I'm going to try to make one that is, I'm going to look at that and try to copy it, and obviously not sell it. I would not like attempt to copy a pattern and then sell the pattern. I would never ever do that. If I am not, like, even adjusting this dragon pattern from what it came from, I will not ever like sell it or even, claim it. Like this was, I did follow a pattern, and then I adjusted the pattern. And this is what I got, and this is what I like. However, I would never ever try to claim even this adjustment as my own. I don't feel like that's ethical. So in looking at the shape of that other one, and it's what I want, but I don't want to, I couldn't find anything else about it. It's just pictured. I was like, that's exactly what I want. And so I'm just going to try to duplicate it without, obviously, and hope that it looks all right, but obviously not going to like try to sell the pattern or make it my own or anything like that. That's not ethical. Okay. And yesterday, while at the craft thing, I made a snake, and we had a lot of fun with it, because I held it up when it was half done, and I'm like, do you think it's long enough? And they just kind of started laughing, and they're like, that really should be longer. And I was like, I just kind of want to be done with it. And it wasn't so much that it was tedious. It was just that, like, so as the conversation went on, and I was like, it's not that it's tedious, it's just that as it gets longer, it just kind of, I have to curve it, and that just set them off again. So it looked a little bit phallic. So I ended up, I made it longer, and I made it even longer than the pattern suggested. And then I tried to shape it so it was squiggly, so it looked a little less phallic. So, and then when I got home, I put a tongue on it because I did not have, and that statement saying that I was going to put a tongue on it, that riled them up all over again. So we had some good laughs at my snake and at my expense, but I was like, no, I mean like a tongue sticking out of it, not a tongue on it. Anyway, it was great. It was fun. And these are church ladies, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it was funny. And so anyway, so I tried to make it squiggly so it wasn't as phallic, but this is the end result. And here is the tongue sticking out of it. One of the patterns that I looked at had a forked tongue, but when I made it, it didn't look right. So we're just doing a normal tongue. So, and we have eyes, and this is like a gray-green, and I made it, it is squiggly, so it is not quite as phallic. But when I said, is it long enough, it was about this long. So, and then, yeah, you guys can use your imagination on that. So, and yeah, I don't know how much I will charge for this either yet. I will call it 10, maybe 15. I don't know. Because right now I just have my prices as small, medium, large, extra large. But this snake is like, it was really simple. It took, it looks like it's extra large, but it's really thin. Whereas this owl, I feel like 20, 25, would be good. But again, my daughter has claimed this owl is hers now. So that is all I crocheted this week, which isn't a lot, but they're rather, they're bigger things. But I did get a lot of sewing done. Let me show you what I did. Okay, so as if you've watched my last video, I've started making book sleeves. So that was my focus throughout the week. I spent the earlier part of the week cutting fabric and then cutting the lining, and then I used some scraps for the bookmarks that I'll show you. Oh, excuse me. And I made some mistakes and had to fix them, and with the cutting and whatnot. So, but it took a week, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 total book sleeves, and I think 2, 4, 6, 8, 6 bookmarks, because maybe not, no. How many books? We'll count them when we're done. Anyway, I will separate them. Those ones, oh yes, 8. Those ones, and where'd you go? And those ones. Okay, so 8 bookmarks. The first book sleeve I'm going to show you, this is going to be a belated housewarming gift for a coworker who bought a house like last spring, maybe even earlier than that. I don't remember when they bought the house, but I wanted to make something for her, and I hadn't figured it out yet. But now that I started making the book sleeve, she's a big reader. She's borrowed me a book or two and suggested book. We read similar books, and so we bonded over that and whatnot. So anyway, so I decided to make her a book sleeve. And this is the fabric that I picked out because she loves cats. And then I picked a pink liner, which goes really well with the pink blush and ears of the kitties. I am still not putting any pockets on these yet, but I will probably, it really depends on how much fabric I have, but I decided to start out without the pockets. And then because a lot of the fabric I have I don't have enough to make a pocket, just enough to make one large and one small. Some of them I do, but I just decided I'm just going to keep it consistent right now. We'll keep it silly, keep it simple, keep it consistent, and just do that. Okay, so this was the first one I made, and then the rest are sets because I didn't have enough of the lining fabric to make more. I did get more lining fabric at Walmart. As you can see, that is lining. I just got a whole bunch of different colors, so it's a little darker than that one, but I would rather spend my money at Walmart than, I miss Joann so much. So much. Anyway, the next one, I mean, I made them all, like I cut them all at the same time, and, I batch made them. One day I did this, the next day I did this, and whatnot. So the next one that is in line to show you is the cookie one. So I have a big one and a small one, and they have this brown tannish inside, and that I believe I bought, and I bought that for a different one, but it ended up I found a different fabric for that one that I had, and that one is this pretty fall one where it's got the birds and the flowers and acorns and whatnot. So this one, I think I had messed up. I messed up and I ended up with 2 big ones or 2 small ones, I went to cut a small one and a big one, and I cut the big one too small, and so I had to make it into a small one. So if I had 2 small ones, I wanted 2 big ones, and I have enough of this fabric. I had 2 yards of it, I believe. So that's what I did with this. And I skipped a step. Along with the cookie book sleeves, I made cookie corner bookmarks. So we have those ones. And then these ones also have matching bookmarks. The inside is this. This is what I've had this fabric. I used it as a lining for one of my tote bags. Acorns, or maybe the straps or both. Anyway, I used it in a tote bag. And I had enough left to use it as a lining for all 4 of these, I believe. Yeah, so I was like, let's do something with that fabric. And then I made 2 corner bookmarks. And I probably could have made more from some of these, but I just stuck with 2 for now. And so that is that one. I made 2 big ones, 2 small ones, or 2 medium ones. I think this is large and medium. But again, the small ones were just too small to do anything with. I'm not really sure what the point of those were. I feel like we could have a bigger size for, like, if you want multiple books or like children's picture books, because they tend to be larger. So I might do that with like some more kid fabrics, but I feel like book totes would be better for the kids because they'll wanna. It's not quite the same circumstance. I don't know. Anyway, and then the next one I am showing you are these beautiful butterflies. And they just have this light blue in here. Now, I notice a lot of the people who are doing like book sleeves and whatnot on YouTube, they have like, or even any craft, they have like sets and, a launch of a certain set. And I'm just picking random fabrics over here that I think are pretty. So butterflies, we have a big and a large, and then the matching corner bookmarks. Will I try to sell them as a set? I don't know. Maybe it'll be like if you get a Kindle or a book sleeve, you can get a bookmark for $1 instead of the $2 $2 or $3 that I'll charge for them. I haven't decided how much I'll charge for them yet. Okay. And last but not least are these beautiful sunflowers. I have been waiting to use this fabric, and I figure it's a nice fall one, but it can be used year round, especially with the blue in there. And then we have the yellow as the background or the lining for that. And we also have our matching corner bookmarks. And that is what I have made this week. I had 2 more cut out, 2 more fabrics or 2 more sets cut out, but I didn't have enough batting Pellon to do that with, or to do all of them. So I just decided on those ones. And so I think I have like 1 more set of the Pellon that I have cut out, but I have to get more. So I ordered a big thing of Pellon, like 7 yards, I think it was. And the main reason I ordered that instead of the package that I had before, because I tend to not order like that much. It was $45, but it ended up being, like, if you go per yard, it ended up being less than. But anyway, I don't have a lot of space to put big things. So I was like, but the main reason I bought it was because I can get that on Tuesday. Oh, excuse me. I can get on a Tuesday, whereas the package that I got that made that many and a little bit more potentially, if I had cut things properly, it would have made more. And where was I? It wasn't going to come in until like Thursday or Friday, and I need it sooner than that because I probably will do a lot of work on Tuesday when I have the day off. I have a couple appointments, but in between those appointments, I can do more sewing, and I might try starting cutting fabric today, or because my daughter's going to have her friend over again. And it's easier to do sewing when she has her friend over, and crocheting when she wants me next to her. When she doesn't have anyone over, she wants me next to her because she's a child who loves her mother. And so Yeah, I am hoping to try that owl next and some other things. But yes, definitely focusing on the book sleeves because I want to get a good stock of those for the next market on the 8th. Or not market, it's a craft fair. And that is on the 8th. And then I have a couple more in November as well. And so I want to have a good stock of those. And it's a good way to use up my fabric too. Even though I did have to buy more lining fabric, but that's fine. I still have that should cover me for a bit because I got like pink and yellow and blue and purple. They had a green, but it was like I wanted like a pale green. It was not a pale green. So I did not get the greens. I don't think it would match. But I don't have a whole lot of green things. Green fabric. I think the green fabric, I have like maybe 3 or 4 green fabrics, and they're probably more of a St. Patty's Day type thing. So anyway, that is all for today. It's all for this week because it's the end of the week, and I will try to record more throughout the week. We'll see if I am successful in that or not, or if I just want to straight up work. So yeah, unfortunately, that's going to be a shorter video today. No like fun clips or anything like that. But I hope you liked the book sleeves and what I crocheted and the story about this snake. If you want to know how I shaped it, at the end I had a long tail and I just went in and kind of weaved and then pulled it to this side, and then I weaved again and pulled it to this side, and that just kind of pulls it this way, pulls it. So I know there are patterns where like you'll do increases and decreases to make it, but I didn't think about trying to figure out how to do that while I was doing this. It wasn't until after the fun we had that I was like, I should probably make this squiggly so that other people don't think it's quite as funny. So will I make more? Probably. I've heard snakes are kind of popular, so I'll probably make a couple more. In different colors and whatnot. Other greens. I have at least one more green to work with. I know this looks more gray than green, but it is green, I promise. So anyway, that's enough for today, for this week, and I will see you next week. And so have a wonderful week. Bye.